some other important issues that is facing our country. As you're aware, we have commenced this recount process that was supposed to be concluded in 25 days. It is clear that we will not achieve the target of these 25 days. However, we are very concerned about the slaughter that is taking place in relation to the counting of the ballots, especially for region number 4. There are some striking decisions that we consider very alarming at this stage in the recount. Region 4 has the largest remaining number of boxes to be counted. But we have seen a consistent approach by GCOM to dedicate the least amount of resources to Region 4. And this is of major concern to us. I think it is deliberate, and what are the intentions of those who are assigning the resources? We have to get to the bottom of what those intentions are. Let me give you an example as of yesterday what took place. So at the end of yesterday, the total number of boxes remaining in this recount is 955 boxes. Out of that 955 boxes, more than 57% of those boxes are from Region 4. More than 57% of the boxes remaining to be counted are from region number 4. This morning, we would have completed region number 3 and region number 7, which would have freed up more stations. So four additional stations became available this morning. So if you look at it from a purely statistical perspective, let us take the numbers. If we have 57% of the boxes remaining in Region 4, then we would simply argue that 57% of the resources, the manpower, should be dedicated, in this case the stations, should be dedicated to Region 4. If we are to complete this task within a reasonable time frame, that is one, and ensuring that the other regions are not completed and Region 4 is left way behind. In that scenario, we'll end up exactly where we were after March 2nd, where we had declarations from all the regions, and Region 4 was not completed, and we know what took place subsequently. So we are very mindful of that scenario, and the scenario that is presenting itself now in the slot of counting the boxes for Region 4. So if we had 57% of the new stations that were freed up dedicated to Region 4, then we would have expected that at a minimum, 2 stations would have been dedicated out of the 4 to Region 4. Instead, we are faced with a decision by the Commission that seeks to assign one additional station to Region 4 that has 57% of the boxes outstanding, assigning 2 to Region 10, where there are only 135 boxes, for a matter of fact 125 boxes, and 1 more to Region 6, where we only have 197 boxes remaining. So the assignment of the stations now are as follows. Region 6 where we have 197 boxes remaining, 4 stations. That is an average of 49 boxes per station. Region 10, where we have 125 boxes outstanding, 2 stations. That is an average of 62 boxes per station. And this is not taking into consideration that the Region 10 boxes, a lot of the boxes in Region 10 are what you consider small boxes as compared to the large boxes in Region 4. In Region 4, however, we have 548 boxes outstanding with 4 stations also, which is an average of 137 per station, which is almost double, what Region 6 has. That is the boxes per station. So there is no rationale to this decision. There is no justification to this decision. Where you have 57% of the boxes in District Number 4 and the least resources assigned to that district. In Region 6, where we have 197 boxes, the average boxes per station will be 49. They have 4 stations assigned. In Region 4, where we have 548 boxes, we have the same number of stations assigned, 4 stations, which is an average of 137 boxes per station. So we remain very concerned about this situation. We have raised it with the Commission, and we are awaiting a decision from the Commission in reviewing this matter. You will recall that earlier this week and late last week, we were promised 2 additional stations that would have been designated to Region 4. About 2 days ago, we heard that those stations could not come on stream because GCOM was awaiting permission from the Prime Minister, Moses Nagamutu, who has nothing to do with the operation of GCOM. GCOM is independent. So we have to remain vigilant. We want to assure all Guyanese that we will remain vigilant, but we want to draw the public attention to this new assignment of stations that cannot be justified based on the work that remains to be done. Then we have a decision, the order has to be extended. So GCOM today is examining a recommendation that seeks to extend the time frame in relation to the completion of this exercise to the 16th of June. To the 16th of June. And that would include having the declaration of the results of the recount. However, let us examine this time frame, because we believe that this time frame is too long and should be cut down. If we continue to do an average, yesterday we did 92 boxes. If we continue to do an average of 80 boxes per day, then it will take us 12 days to complete this exercise. A maximum of 12 days to complete the recount exercise. The 16th of June and the remaining days in this month gives GCOM 20 days to a declaration. So if we take 12 days to complete the recount, why is it GCOM need 8 days to have the declaration? This is puzzling. It is our view that this time frame is too long. 12 days to complete the recount. And you also are aware that during the recount, we had the declaration of different district results. So those declarations are already available. It would just be a matter of putting the declarations together and completing the report to declare the winner of the recount and to declare which party or the allocation of votes for the different parties. So 12 days to the completion of the recount, and 8 days for what? It is our view that 12 days for the recount and 3 days for the declaration. 3 days for the completion of the report and the declaration of the results. That will give us 15 days to the declaration of the results. 15 days would save us 5 days. So that this entire exercise, inclusive of a declaration, can be completed by the 11th of June. And this is based not on guesswork. This is based on taking the minimal average of what we are achieving now. This is based on looking at the existing figures that are before us. So we are also concerned about this lengthy extension to the 16th of June. We are of the strong view that the recount and declaration can be completed and should be completed by the 11th of June. The other issue that is being circulated a lot on social media, and the business community would have raised this issue with me, and that is the COVID task force and the weaponizing of this COVID task force, using it as a political apparatus or a political tool. We see that this murmur of lockdown seems to be finding its way all over on social media. And of course, this is driving fear among the business community, driving fear among citizens, and driving fear among persons who are associated with the recount process. But let me be very clear. The recount process has to be concluded. And we are not going to stand idly by and see the COVID task force being used as a weapon to derail any process. The business community and our citizens are interested in a structured approach to the reopening of our economy. All over the world, the focus is on a structured approach to reopening. Not lockdown, but how do we move to reopening the economy, reopening the country, and bring back some amount of normalcy. So this is what we should be focusing on, that structured approach. And yes, we have to be concerned about what is taking place on our borders with Brazil and Venezuela. We have to ensure that we reach out to those border communities, ensure the necessary safeguards are operationalized and implemented, ensure that they have the basic necessities that would avoid them from crossing the border, ensure that the border is not infiltrated, because it is a serious situation at the border. But that requires an entire management system, not only to secure the border and to monitor what is taking place, but also to put systems in place at the border communities so that the lives of people will not be affected. So that what exists now, where communities are moving towards starvation because they don't have access to resources and food, that is what we have to be concerned about. We have to focus on ensuring that the basic needs of the communities are met, whilst we implement systems around the communities and along the border to protect the border and protect our country. That should be the focus in relation to what is happening on our borders. We should have emergency supplies added to the health centers. We should move testing kits to those communities. We should have public education, community education, extensive community education in those communities. We should have sanitation products sent to those communities. This is what is essential now to safeguard those border communities and those border regions. This is what the focus should be on, ensuring that food supplies, medical supplies are adequate in this community so that persons don't have to come out and cross the border or come out beyond the community to seek basic supplies. And that should be the focus. And the aim now should be a structured approach to reopening and normalizing things back in our country. So the business community, I think, are concerned about what they're hearing. And if you look at the headlines would say explosion in COVID cases. But the statistics does not back the headline. We're not hearing how many persons have been tested, what percentage of those who have been tested came back positive. Where is this explosion? It is just building up a narrative. Whilst we have to take it serious, we have to ensure that the information is credible. We have to ensure that the data is credible. We have to ensure that the COVID situation is not used for political purpose by skewing data, skewing analysis. This would be not only disastrous, but this will be criminal if we are playing with the data in relation to what is taking place with COVID-19. I hope we are not. Our focus also must be on restarting the economy, kickstarting things, getting things restarted so that people can earn. We know it is a difficult situation out there. We know many families are suffering. We have been trying to reach out as far as possible. And we are not seeing any intervention by the state agencies to cushion what is happening at the community level. There is no clarity. There is no clarity for the children who have to sit common entrance. There is no clarity for the students who have to write CXC examinations. There is no clarity as to the different sectors in our economy, as to how they will be reopened, what support will be given to them. There is no clarity or structure in taking benefits or taking support to the various communities. There is no clarity on the protocol to move to the isolation center, from the isolation center to the sanatorium. There is no clarity in any of these things. There is no protocol. That is why we are seeing what is taking place at Diamond. Conflict between the patients and the doctors themselves. So we have to bring clarity to these things. We have to ensure the protocols. We have to ensure that the protocols are implemented, the protocols are made public, and that the protocols are adhered to, and not designed in a willy-nilly manner. And these are some of the challenges we are facing in relation to how we're dealing with the issue, with COVID-19 issue. The other issue that is of concern to the party is in relation to the condemnation of GCOM not condemning what Mingo did. There are a few persons in our society who are making all kinds of statements based on allegations, statement that has no factual basis, that dead people voted. We have seen scores of persons coming up with their own video that they're alive and well. But we're seeing people, a few, doing statistical analysis based on these allegations, based on these fictitious imagination and willful deception and deceptive operation by APNU AFC. But the very persons faced with the facts of Mingo's fraudulent declaration, faced with the evidence of Mingo's fraudulent declaration, would say nothing about it, would not condemn what Mingo did, would not speak out against what Mingo did, but are happy to jump on a bandwagon, a deceptive bandwagon that has no factual basis, but will be unwilling to condemn what Mingo did. I have a lot of respect for all Guyanese. And I've spoken to some of these individuals personally. At the minimum, GCOM must also condemn what Mingo did. So, viewers, these are some of the issues that have been occupying our headline and our space, and I just wanted to touch on a few of it. There's one other issue I want to address before we close. Inclusive governance. I want to assure every Guyanese that we are committed to our manifesto. And if you look at our manifesto, we spoke expansively about inclusive governance. Not only at the political level, but also ensuring that civil society is involved in every aspect of our development. Ensuring that key sectors, the oil and gas sector, ensuring that a governance mechanism is built beyond the political framework of our country, ensuring that we move to meaningful constitutional reform in consultation with the people, ensuring that we move to electoral reform. These are the things that are important in restructuring the governance structure of our country. So we don't have to sell this as a new idea. We are committed to this. That is why it is in our manifesto. We are committed in ensuring that the new governance model of our country is inclusive of the ideas, aspirations, and the available potential within our country and in our diaspora to take our country forward. We have to bring together the wide array of talent that is critical in moving our country forward and in a positive direction. But we can't do so starting from a foundation of illegality. We can't do so starting from a foundation of falsehood. We have to do so from a foundation of respecting the rule of law, adhering to the Constitution, and respecting the will of the people. And that is ensuring that the legitimate government that was voted in by the people on March the 2nd is sworn into office. That is unconditional. And that is the start point. So we embrace all those who call for a governance structure that involves more Guyanese. But in making that call, you also have a responsibility to ensure that the starting point is one that is democratic, constitutional, and respectful of the will of the people. So, my respected Guyanese viewers, I want to thank you for this opportunity to update you on some of the topical issues or current issues in our country. And I'm sure over the weekend, the General Secretary would update you with his normal press conference on the wider political issue. Today is a very important meeting at GCOM when the new order will be finalized. So before the end of today, we will be back with you again, updating you on those developments. Thank you very much. Stay safe. God bless you.